Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen. If you find that this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So, first of all, chosen, I want to talk to you all about the awakening process and how it adds years to your life. You know, a lot of times we take for granted our health, this vessel, this avatar that we've been blessed with, especially in your sleep state. You don't really think too much about nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself on a holistic level. You might be concerned about how you look physically, so you may go to the gym. You might even adjust your diet because you want to lose weight. But when it comes down to the holistic standpoint, you don't really start to dive into that until you awaken. And when I say awaken, I'm talking about your spiritual eyes are open, your third eye gets opened, and now you're able to see things from a very expansive perception, right? You're able to look at things from a higher position, and you gain more clarity and insight on what was actually causing you bad health. Most people just look from the surface and you're thinking that it's just your diet, it's just your weight, you need to work out more, but that's surface solutions. When you open up your spiritual eyes, you begin to realize holistic health is key. And so your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health, all of that becomes a priority for you. Not to mention the fact that you start to gain clarity about the fact that you have chakras, right? These energy vortexes that everybody has that, has the potential to, well, it does impact your health if you don't get them balanced. And so we deal with the 7 chakras, but there's more than 7. But the 7 chakras that we are more aware of, we start to realize like, hey, my root chakra has been blocked. And your root chakra, if it's not balanced, then you're looking at survival mode energy. You're looking at, being in fear. You are likely having lack mentality. And so you're not balanced, you're not rooted, right? When your sacral chakra is off balance, you're talking about either an overactive appetite for external pleasure. If it's overactive, if it's underactive, you're talking about a lack of energy, a lack of motivation, a lack of drive, okay? Insecurities. When you're looking at your solar plexus, if that's off balance, then you're talking about aggressiveness, always this need for control, or even this feeling of powerlessness. It depends on how that thing is spinning. But if it's not in alignment, then, you have the polarity or to how it can be expressed. You can be too controlling, or you can feel powerless, like you have no control over your life. When you're looking at the heart chakra, you're talking about grief, heartbreak, okay? Anything that's dealing with your emotions. And then when you're going into the throat chakra, if your throat chakra is not balanced, you're dealing with inability to speak your truth, or a lack of integrity when you do communicate, very harsh communication to others. When your third eye chakra is blocked, you are not able to see things from a spiritual perspective at all. You're looking at everything from a surface point of view, and so you're never able to dive deep enough to understand what's behind the veil, or what's, the suppressed wounds, what really needs to be healed beyond what you see on the surface. You're not able to rise to your divinity if you don't understand life from a spiritual perspective. So if you can't see it, then it's hard to conceptualize it. And so that's why the third eye needs to be open. And then when you're talking about your crown chakra, if that's blocked, then you're looking at a lack of faith, a lack of connection to the spiritual aspect of who you are, as well as that connection to the Most High Mother and Father and your spiritual team. You feel very disconnected. Okay, you can feel a sense of abandonment on a spiritual level, like a sense of, a lack of belonging. And so we're talking about all of these 7 chakras. When you awaken and you get those chakras in alignment, wow, my cardinal is out here today, y'all. Your light body, like your auric field, shifts. Your vibrational frequency begins to shift on a higher level. And so you're moving different. You're responding to things differently. You go from survival mode to thriving. You go from being in lack mentality to, knowing that there are infinite possibilities on how things can play out for you in this lifetime, and having this overflow of abundance type of mindset. You know that you can attract wealth to you. You can attract healthy relationships to you. You get into the space of manifesting your reality. You learn how to alchemize and transmute energy to the point where such a situation that might have stressed you out, that might have triggered you before, now you know how to take that same energy and transmute it to where it actually works out in your favor. Or you know how to transmute it to the point where it doesn't even affect you in a negative way. And so when you get to that place, you have literally stepped into your it's like your superpower avatar. You become like one of what they would call like those supernatural beings, because you are able to it's like Neo in the Matrix. You learn how to dodge bullets. You see what I'm saying? And so whereas things in life could have taken you down, it could have beat you down, it could have, put you flat on your face, when you activate and align your chakras and you awaken, those same things that would have impacted you before no longer affect you. And so now you gliding over obstacles. And in that energy, it adds years to your lifespan, because it's no longer impacting you. Life is no longer impacting you in a negative way. And so now you're attracting circumstances that's more in alignment with your frequency. And those circumstances looks like healthy relationships, more wealth in your life, more creativity, more, a better way of expression as far as your health and how what you're ingesting, not just through your mouth, but what you're ingesting through your eyes and what you're ingesting into your mind and into your spirit. Like all of those things begin to shift, and life has to be a direct reflection of what's going on internally. And so now you end up attracting this life of peace and tranquility. And what happens when you're living in a life of peace? That expands your lifespan. That gives you more years on your life, because stress is one of the deadliest killers that exist. A lot of people don't realize that many health issues, the source of it was stress and traumas that was never dealt with. Suppressed traumas that was never looked at, because you get so captured and caught up in the matrix and in the 3D, seeing through your natural eyes, that you never get a chance to look deep enough, because you don't have the sight or the vision to see that there's something beyond the surface. And so that actually creates a very low vibrational environment for you spiritually, and everything begins in the spiritual realm. So if your spiritual nature is corrupted, is tainted, is, toxic, then that's going to most definitely bleed through into your physical reality, into your physical vessel. And that's where dis-ease comes from, dis-ease, because it all started off with a lack of ease, a lack of peace within your spirit. And so this is why it's so important to awaken, because you'll find that as we continue to push forward in the age of Aquarius, the lifespan of people is going to be much longer. Your generation and the generations to proceed after you will have a much longer lifespan in their awakening. As long as they are awakened, it's going to be easy to see somebody that's 100 years old that's still getting around like they're 70. You see what I'm saying? Because you are more conscious of yourself on all dimensions, on all levels. And so you are conscious of taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself on all levels. You see what I'm saying? And so there's a lot of beautiful things that's going to come from this awakening process, but having a long lifespan is most definitely one of them. And so this is just motivation to keep going, keep nurturing yourself, keep, exploring life and understanding this thing called life from a spiritual perspective, because that's going to give you the sight that you need to be able to alchemize and transmute energy. You end up becoming a master manifester. You become that person who's able to control a lot more of what's happening in your life. And it's not about being in control, but it's about having the authority to will what you desire, rather than just passively existing and allowing life to happen to you. You can be more intentional and allowing things to work for you. You see what I'm saying? You still maintain that position of going with the flow, because there will be things that happens in your life that you don't have all of the control over, but you will have control over how you respond to it and how you allow it to impact you, whether good or bad. And so this is why the awakening process adds years to your life, because those things are no longer impacting you in a negative way. And now you get to pass this on to your children. Now you get to pass this on to the people that are, the new generation that's coming in. And no longer do we accept this whole theory or this illusion that disease is hereditary. You no longer accept that. What you come to realize in your awakening is that disease or disease is a uneasy spirit. There's something going on with the spiritual nature of that lineage. And so when you awaken, you start breaking generational curses. You start becoming intentional about breaking cycles that were spiritual chains, spiritual anchors that could have come, that most of the time they come from curses. They come from, spell work, the evil eye, and particular beings who have an agenda to keep your lineage asleep. And so they keep you under the spell. But when you awaken as the chosen, you realize, no, this dis-ease is not a hereditary thing. This is not in my DNA. This is a spiritual attack that has to be addressed and destroyed. And so this sets up the future for, when people are 100 years old, they're walking around looking like they're 70, moving like they're 70, because now that generational cycle of emotional abuse, survival mode, fears, insecurities, lack mentality, addictive behavior patterns, and staying in unhealthy relationships, those cycles change when you have a clear understanding of how you are affected spiritually, how that has a spiritual impact on your lineage. So when you break spiritual chains off of your lineage, then you also are able to clear that repeat pattern of disease. And so that's why the lifespan goes that much longer. So that's my message for you all. I just wanted to encourage you to stay on the path, continue to do what's necessary to awaken and to become the best version of yourself. And you will find that the quality of life begins to improve drastically, to the point where you move in, like you're 20 years younger, because you really are. Okay, age is also an illusion, but if you're fixated into the matrix and deeply submerged in the 3D, then age is your reality. You see what I'm saying? But when you see it from a higher perspective and you recognize that you're a multidimensional being, a spirit having a human experience, then age becomes just something that, you got to put on documents if you need to fill out an application or something. It's always nice to know when you was born, but it becomes an irrelevant factor in terms of your physical avatar, how you move, how you interact, the things that you're still capable of doing. Your age becomes irrelevant the more that you awaken. So that's my message for you all. I love you. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this subject. Like, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all next time.